Hi, welcome back to another video for the cloud series. Today we're going to be configuring and managing cloud identities. Just a few things we're going to go over some use of using Active Directory administrative centers and using Azure Key Vault as well. So first, I'm going to be again using the Active Directory Administrative Center. Now, while this is loading, I can go over a few bit of things. Now, management for dynamic environments present various challenges, right? As an organization's network complexity tends to grow over time, adding requirements to address network security and maintaining a coherent record of IT infrastructure. Now, Active Directory Administrative Center can be used to enforce a logical approach to manage network objective access and store necessary information about these objects as they relate to an organization's hierarchical structure. Now, utilizing this Active Directory or native Active Directory really tool and Windows server management prowess just proves a means for administrator and security engineers to maintain logical user access while following the least privilege access, right? So what I'm going to do as far as the features, the functionality of the Active Directory Administrator Center is I'm going to explore those. Now, I'm going to create and populate first a new Active Directory group using the center administrators and security engineers to just have access to this or should have access to this, like control over user access through logical hierarchical groups, management of like role-based configurations or controls for groups and users, right? To implement mandatory access control and discretionary access control as well. But you should also be able to allocate and deallocate resources to users based on security groups following least privilege access, which I have actually covered in other videos, not particular to cloud, but just in general, right? And what I'm going to do is just use the administrative center to create a security group and then populate a user within it. Long story short, if this server ever loads, we can actually go ahead and get started. All right, so now I can get started since I have everything loaded. So now we're going to head to the Active Directory Administrative Center, right? So to unknown error. So that's probably because I'm stuffing the gun here. I'm going to refresh it. If not, then I'll just close it out and open it back up here. Okay. Um, oh, okay. So let's take a look here, all right? Take a look at users. All right, there we go. Now we have our users. So let's get a new user. Actually, you know what? No, you do a group first before we do a new user. And it's going to be the file share group. Make sure it's written properly. Go down here and let's do some adding. Users. Okay, that's fine. Administrator. Make sure it's spelled correctly. All right, perfect. All right, so we're good there. And the fast group. All right, so we're good there. Let's take a look at. There it is. There we are. Just created that. So, so now I'm just gonna. I would just making sure that the file share group was added that we've created. All right, so now I'm just going to create and assign permissions to the new file share. So usually using file share services in Server Manager, and administrators and security engineers again have access to a few things I mentioned earlier. So I'm just going to use the file share services to create a file, a share, naturally, right? And then populate it within an Active Directory group created that I just did the file share group. Right, and actually to start with that, let me bubble over to DMO1 and get into the server manager here, right? And take a look at, actually, it's not here. There it is. Take a look at our shares, right? And we're going to do a new share. It looks like it's giving me a couple different options here: quick, advanced, applications, quick, advanced, and they all provide their own purpose. I'm not going to get into those at the moment, but I'm just going to hit next here. All right, and I'm going to do that one. That's fine. Out there. Okay. All right, perfect. And this is just examples, right? But you can, I can use any unique name. I just wanted to keep it pretty simple. Right. So let's see. Share settings, enable access. That's what we want. That's so we're good there. All right, perfect. So there we go. Security settings. All right, let's disable this block. The inheritance to this object. We want to do that here. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, do move. And then we're gonna select them with principal access. So we're gonna remove them as well. All right, so now the only permission entries are the system administrators and the creator owner. I'm actually going to add, right, and we want to select principal. And naturally, right, we're going to do, right, and do that, file share group, right? Read and execute, that's fine. Let's folder and read, that's fine. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm just verifying everything that's here. So I'm gonna hit apply, hit OK. All right, perfect. So now we can go next, and then we can create. That was quick. All right, so now closing the wizard. Now I'm back at the file storage services and shares dashboard here. Let's verify this here. All right, yeah, everything looks good. All right, perfect. So let me open this up here. There we go. Take a look at our shares. Could be a folder, yeah. Hmm. All right, so the folder is empty. That's fine. Put something in it. All right, that is perfectly fine. All right, perfect. Now let's see. Let's take a look at the properties here. Okay, now take a look here. Read, execute. That's fine. All right, perfect. So the permissions have now been applied to the file share. Perfect. All right, so that was using the Active Directory Administrative Center. Now we're going to just dive right into using the Azure Key Vault. Now, hosting and managing certain resources in Azure, for example, a web application would add a requirement to securely store credentials to allow access. Now, Azure Key Vault can be used to store these security credentials without the need for a third-party key management suite. Now utilizing the native suite of tools available in Azure will ensure the ease of manageability and compatibility of resources. So first, what I'm going to do is create and populate Azure Vault. Now, using Azure Vault has everything I mentioned as far as administrators and security engineers could have access to a few things, right? And they can also ensure the applications used in Azure have no access to keys or automate SSL, secure socket layer, and TLS certificates, right? So let's actually open up Microsoft Edge, right? And we're going to create a resource, right? And then here, we're going to Key Vault. Perfect. And then there we go. I'm going to create a Key Vault. Perfect. And Brady, best quarterback of all time, by the way. Let's see. Here's the details. Right. Yeah. Sorry to use. Just oh, okay. I'll just leave it there. All right, perfect. So let's make sure. Yeah, there we go. Let's case out standard. That's fine. All right, let's scroll up here. All right, this is fine. Actually, well, 7. Actually, and then we're gonna go to next. Now, the retention period refers to, by the way, before I forget, how long the key vault should be kept in background storage after deletion. You can do between 7 and 90 days typically. Now, if you remove the key vault using the typical resource deletion process, it would only warn that a global administrator can remove them. So let's actually scroll full access. I'd rather have that, even though Azure role-based control is recommended. But we want Brady. All right, there we go. To be validating in just a moment. All right, it's validated. It looks like because it's highlighted again. And of course, just like before in the prior video, just waiting for the deployment to complete. All right, then I'll be able to go to the resource. It should take not too much longer. All right, so the deployment succeeded. So let's go to our resource, right, for our newly created vault. Let's exit out this and then this. All right, and take a look at our keys here. All right, now here I can either import or create new security keys to be stored into the vault. Now, the option to import pre-existing keys ensures that administrators can migrate these keys from their previous solution to Azure. So I'm going to see how I would create a new key. So let's generate and import. Now, Azure gives us 2 encryption options, right? We created keys. Rivest, Samir, and Ottoman, or RSA for short. Now, these are named after the creators of the method. Now, and also EC, which is elliptic curve, which is the difference is pretty much RSA just refers to a type of encryption, where the RSA algorithm is used to generate a pair of public and private keys, which I actually somewhat talk about in another video as far as public key encryption um, for public key infrastructure. I believe. Now, this is RSA is a typical encryption method used by secure socket layer certificates for websites. So I know I definitely went over in another video under my cybersecurity series. Now, EC keys, they refer to a type of encryption where the same pairs of keys are generated via an elliptic curve using an algebraic formula. Right. For example, if we use an RSA key, Azure also would ask, what size you would like this to be, which shows how many bits are used in the encryption method, which I would keep the default size, at least for this example, at 2048. I got it, buddy. So let's see, generate. So we're good there. Just going to keep it simple here. And 2048, as I mentioned, we're good there. Activation date. And expiration date. I'll just leave it at the default. Now, setting these dates, they're not mandatory, but I just want to show here for reference. Now, in a real world scenario, it's typically best practice to ensure that security keys are enabled and disabled regularly to maximize security, of course. Enable, we're good there. So let's create. Perfect. So we have an enabled status, and the expiration date is much. Oh, in 2 years. In 2 years. So let's take a look at our secrets now that we created the key, right? And we're actually there's some secrets, so we're gonna generate one. Right. So in this sense, as far as the secret, it refers to anything you may want to store in the secret vault, like a password. Although there's many uses for this particular function, but I'm going to leave the upload this manual. I'm going to name it secure password 01, right? For you know, what's the stigma? And let's see, perfect. And I'm just going to leave everything as is and just create. And we see status enabled, the name, the type of it, the type of thing that the secret is a password, right? That we want to store here. All right, so this is um, so now that we have the secret created, I'm just going to take a look at our certificates. Lastly, and of course, naturally, we're going to generate one for our new certificate. Name this one DL1. Now, when selecting a certificate authority, which I've done in the before this cloud series, I've done this also under the Windows um, certificates as well. Pretty similar as far as the principles, right? So at least with Azure, you get three options, right? And you have self-signed certificates, which are signed by the creator of the signature, and as such, they have not been verified by any certificate authority or certification authority. And a browser that detects a self-signed certificate may warn users that the certificate cannot be verified before accessing the website. I'm sure someone, probably crossed into a website that has not had that was not seen as secure based on certain things. This could have been one of them. But certificates issued also by an integrated certificate authority, which have been authorized by certificate authorities that key vault that have key vault uses, for example, like a DigiCert or a global sign. Certificates also issued by a non-integrated certificate authority, refers to any certificate certified by a third-party CA external to Azure. And I'll actually leave it at the default. I just wanted to explain those. Now for the subject, I'll do, okay, let's complete everything else as is. I'm going to create. Now, as we can see here, it has opened with the new certificate configured, but unfortunately it shows that it's, oh, there it is, it's enabled. All right, even though it shows disabled on the prior screen, nonetheless. Not sure what's going on there. I'll refresh. There it is. All right, perfect. So we're good to go and we're good for the end of the video. This has been configuring and managing cloud identities. Just for a very brief recap, we use the Active Directory Administrator Center, and we also use the new Share Wizard as well, as far as the Microsoft Azure infrastructure and going through keys, secrets, and certificates. Now, this is definitely fun. Can't wait to do the next one. We'll go over cloud networking concepts. It's going to be even more fun. Can't wait to see you there. In the meantime, stay curious, stay secure.